Good morning, everyone. Wesley is off this week, so I'm flying solo again, and of course we're going to start with the Drought Monitor. Let's go right to the new map. Well, our colors are shrinking on the Drought Monitor map for this week. We just have a little bit of drought left in the state. We are really making good headway against this problem we've had for the last 3 years. With just a little bit of a moderate drought down in far southwestern Oklahoma. We do have some moderate and severe drought in both south central and north central Oklahoma, a little closer to southeast and northeastern Oklahoma. But again, those are also shrinking, so we are making some good progress. And now let me show you why. Take a look at that January rainfall, hot off the presses, and we do have some wonderful rainfall amounts across most of the state. Even those amounts out in the Panhandle are still above normal. So we go from about 4 to 6 inches down in far southeast Oklahoma, a little bit heavier rain from south central up into northeastern Oklahoma, and then of course we drop precipitously as we go through the northwestern part of the state, as is usual and normal for Oklahoma. But if we look at that departure from normal rainfall map for that same time frame for January, we do see, again, most of the state has a pretty good surplus. From about a ½ inch out in the Panhandle to 1 to 2 inches in the main body of the state. Just a few deficits in some very localized areas. So that's, again, a good reason for some of that good drought improvement in the state. But it doesn't stop there. Of course, we also had a very wet December. Let's go back and take a look at that December through January rainfall map, and lots of good colors on this map. Again, from southeast up through northwestern Oklahoma, a little bit more spotty, heavier amounts scattered about the state, from 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6, 7 inches in some cases. But again, if we look at that departure from normal rainfall map, we see some wonderful surpluses, especially across western Oklahoma, where they have surpluses of 2 to 3 to 4 inches. And in fact, the Panhandle had its wettest December through January period on record, and that dates back to 1895. So a wonderful stat for those folks. For west central Oklahoma, it was their second wettest December through January on record, and for north central Oklahoma it was their third wettest, and even in southwest Oklahoma it was their 10th wettest. So that's really good rainfall in the cool season for Oklahoma, and that's what's allowed us to shrink that drought so rapidly over the last couple of months. Now let's go to the February outlooks. Again, we still have that El Nino impacting the state. We do see from the precipitation outlook increased odds of above normal precipitation across at least the western 3/4 of the state, but especially the western half of the state. Now we look at the temperatures, we do see increased odds of above normal temperatures across the northern 2/3 to 3/4 of the state. But again, that's not necessarily too bad for February. That increase in precipitation would be wonderful, because that would again help us to get rid of that drought situation across south central and north central Oklahoma. And finally, when we look at the drought outlook for January from the Climate Prediction Center, we see most of that drought is expected to improve. A little bit expected to remain through February, but then again, we're just going into spring. We might take care of it there. This is that little final remnant of the drought left over this 3-year period we've suffered through this hazard. So great news for January. Hopefully some good news coming in February with increased rainfall through that month as well. Let's get this drought out of here. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.